Chapter 4. The Year of the Elephant. In the southern kingdom of Yemen, ruled by Abyssinia, there was a man named Abraha who sought to replace Mecca as the center of pilgrimage for all Arabia. As vice-regent of the Abyssinians, Abraha built a grand cathedral in Sana'a, hoping to outshine Mecca's Kaaba. To enhance the splendor of the cathedral, he had marble brought from the derelict palaces of the Queen of Sheba, adding crosses of gold and silver and pulpits of ivory and ebony. He boasted to his king, the Negus, that this church was unlike any ever built for a king, and he vowed to divert the pilgrimage of the Arabs away from Mecca. This ambition enraged the tribes of Hijaz and Najd, especially Quraysh, whose sacred Kaaba had long been the heart of the Arab pilgrimage. In retaliation, a man from the tribe of Kinana traveled to Sana'a and defiled the cathedral. Upon hearing of this, Abraha swore revenge and set out with his army, determined to destroy the Kaaba. Abraha's forces, led by a massive elephant, marched toward Mecca. Along the way, some tribes attempted to resist, but they were quickly defeated. Abraha's army reached the outskirts of Mecca and seized 200 camels, belonging to Abdul Muttalib, the respected leader of Quraysh. Seeking peace, Abraha sent a messenger to Mecca, inviting its chief to discuss terms. Abdul Muttalib, with his commanding presence, went to meet Abraha. When Abraha offered him a favor, Abdul Muttalib simply asked for the return of his camels. Surprised by the request, Abraha said, "I am here to destroy your temple, and you ask for camels." Abdul Muttalib calmly replied, "I am the lord of the camels, and the temple likewise hath a lord who will defend it." Puzzled but impressed, Abraha returned the camels. Abdul Muttalib then advised Quraysh to take refuge in the hills and prayed to God at the Kaaba, asking for protection. "O God, thy slave protecteth his house. Protect thou thy house." The next morning, as Abraha's army prepared to march on Mecca, their elephant knelt and refused to move, despite all efforts to make it rise. They even beat the elephant, but it remained firm, only standing when turned away from Mecca. The army ignored this strange omen and pressed on. Suddenly, the sky darkened. A great flock of birds appeared, each carrying 3 small stones, one in its beak and one in each claw. These birds swooped down on the army, pelting them with stones that pierced even armor. Every stone found its mark, causing a swift or gradual death to those it struck. Terrified and in chaos, Abraha's army fled, many dying along the way. Abraha himself died shortly after returning to Sana'a. The Kaaba had been saved, and from that day on, Quraysh were honored as the people of God. Yet, another event unfolded that same year, one that would change the course of history. Abdullah, the beloved son of Abdul Muttalib, was away on a trade journey to Palestine and Syria when he fell ill in Yathrib, his mother's hometown. Abdul Muttalib sent his eldest son, Harith, to bring Abdullah home, but by the time Harith arrived, Abdullah had passed away. Back in Mecca, there was deep mourning, especially from Abdullah's wife Amina, who was carrying their unborn child. As her time of delivery drew near, she found comfort in the child within her. One day, she felt a light shine from her so intensely that it illuminated the castles of Syria. A voice told her, "Thou carriest in thy womb the Lord of this people, and when he is born, say, I place him beneath the protection of the One, from any harm or ill intent. Then name him Muhammad." When the child was born, Abdul Muttalib was overjoyed. He took his grandson to the Kaaba offering prayers of gratitude to God for this precious gift. As he showed the newborn to his family, his young son, Abbas, kissed the child and was told, "This is thy brother. Kiss him." The boy was named Muhammad, and his birth in the year of the elephant would mark the beginning of a new era, foretold by signs and wonders. Some early accounts tell of miraculous events surrounding his birth, as if nature itself rejoiced. It is said that the balconies of the palace of Kisra, the Persian emperor, crumbled and collapsed, while the sacred fire of the Zoroastrians, which had been burning for over 1,000 years, suddenly extinguished. In the land of Persia, the mighty river Sawa dried up, and in distant Syria, the renowned churches trembled as their foundations shook. These events were seen by many as signs of a great change in the world, as if the heavens and earth were welcoming a momentous birth. But the greatest miracle of all was the birth itself, the birth of a man who would change the course of history forever.